Mr. Agnew.
Thank you very much. You asked a couple of questions, Mr. Arnold, and I quite like to offer answers. The first was, you said, well, what's a good model? What can be done in Africa? I lived there and worked there 40 years ago, and I felt the Rhodesian farm model was excellent because there you had a large commercial farm employing anything up to 500 people, all of whom were housed, educated, and there was a shop there and there was a clinic. That was a rural hub. That stopped people drifting to the shanty towns around the capital. The second question was, what should the EU do? I think there is two things. They should not discourage African farmers from using GM and gene editing. I think these are hugely helpful to African agriculture, having been involved in it. And the other thing the EU could do is to put some pressure on the South African government to stop these farm murders, where the farms are not properly farmed afterwards. Thank you.
Most of the challenges that Africa confronts will be issues around rights. This was also mentioned earlier on under agenda item 9, and this also came up from Madrid. So a rights-based approach on land issues, and Mr. Agnew mentioned it. The land dimension, the land tenure is key. Access to water resources is key. Challenges around deforestation. So we need to have a holistic approach of how we tackle the specificity of the African continent, and I'm sure that the task force and its members in their deliberations in the weeks ahead will come up with a robust report.
In terms of issues like land, I think we have to start from the reality that the vast bulk of African farming is conducted on a smallholder basis, with women playing a hugely important role, and finding ways of improving their productivity, their income security. That's, I think, that's the sort of tone that we will likely reflect in the recommendations. But there are no simple or easy answers here. Part of it is increasing productivity at that smallholder level. Part of it is putting a lot more emphasis on developing the rural economy so that people can both remain farming and get an increasing share of their income from non-farming means. That's the way that has happened in Europe. Inevitably, it's going to happen in Africa.